The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So, good evening, everyone. Hello, it's Kate here, and Susie is with me. Now, we're just waiting for a few more people to join us. It's quite a serious turnout tonight, so thanks very much for joining us. Very much appreciated. And we will be covering a whole lot of stuff. We've actually set up a live site in the US where so we'll be going in and going through all of those things that are quite intimidating when you're starting out, and we'll be just running through those details. Now, I have the wonderful Susie Bryant with me. Now, Susie is my business partner, and we have been building our business together for the last year and a half, and just recently started Seller Central setup, I think in response to seeing whole bunch of people getting stuck with all sort of technical aspects of their business, and Susie is such a whiz. It seemed like a really good service to offer the AOE community. Susie's background, she's a computer science IT professional who's worked from majors like Mitsubishi and NetIQ, and she's also run her own business with her husband, who's also an IT guy, called Blacklight. And we live regionally. So she also went on to do a bit of buyer's agents, because then everybody down in the Southern Highlands has to have some role in real estate.
Escape to the country.
And she's also, when I kind of met with her, I thought this woman is actually busier than me. And that's she's got 3 kids who are all young. And just to top things off, she's the president of the PNC. And it's been quite amusing watching how her expertise, as her expertise in Alibaba has grown, so has her bulk ordering for fates and Christmas supplies and school supplies have come into their own. So she's been a highly successful president of the PNC, which is a different added bonus to being an AOE member. So now, I'm Kate Ingham. Many of you would know, and I'm not really going to spend much time introducing myself. Today, mainly, Susie will be presenting, but what we're going to be covering is setting up and preparing for setting up for Seller Central. We're going to go through a setup of a dummy account, the UPC codes, listings with plain and HTML coding, loading the images, creating a swatch, creating parent and child variations. I know these are things that are in the high demand information list, also creating a shipping plan and an FNSKU template. So we're actually going to go through and do that all tonight. So I'm not going to focus on questions that have come through, and we're just going to make sure that we get through the whole sequence. Yeah. So let's get started, and we're going to start with the ducks. The old ducks. Get your ducks sorted before you go anywhere near setting up your Amazon business. So a lot of new people go in, launch in, and start throwing information in and get confused. So the sequence is sort out the address. Make sure the address that you have is an address that you're happy to be published online or potentially to be put onto products, because sometimes you do need to include an address. So think that through. Once you've got the address, then align a phone number with that address, particularly if you're going to need to get ungated. That's going to be important. Then you go for your company registration or your ABN or, your various different approaches. I've used e-companies in the past, and for an additional $538, for an additional $50, you get an ABN and GST registration. But get your company registration. to get your company registration or your ABN or your sole trader, you need your address, okay? Then you move to your domain email, because your domain email needs to include your company information and your address. So make sure you purchase info@yourdomain.com.au or your name, so that you've got 2 or 3 that you can work with your account. Then you move to your bank. Make sure you get, because you need all of those elements for your bank account. We went with Bank West, 0 transaction. You need a bank statement to submit to Amazon. A bank statement has to list the address as your official address. So make sure they don't give you a transaction account. You want a bank statement. Then when you go to Seller Central, you will also need other identification, which is your driver's license or your passport. There's a question as to whether you do one-sided or two-sided. They are quite specific and they are inconsistent with the way they want it presented, yeah? So they're the things. And then the final step is go for your trademark down the line. People launch into getting a second bank account, which is your OFX or World First. I would wait until you know what your business is going to look like before you start designing those elements. You can add them later. Okay, get all of that on the paper. Have all your details, have all your ACN, ABN, whatever it is, have your driver's license, have your passport, have all of this information in an uploadable form. And then start. Okay, Susie.
Okay, thanks, Kate. So we're going to run through actually creating an account within Seller Central, Amazon. I have already done this because it takes a couple of days to get it validated, and they always reject the first time. So we just thought we'd do that first. I'm using US here. They're very similar. The only reason I made it on the USA Seller Central is just there's an extra step or 2, and I thought that it's just worth showing you those screens, just so you know. So when you go into this is the screen you get when you want to join Seller Central, and click on the register now. Then you'll go through and you'll add all of your name, your details, your address, which is in Australia. Is much simpler than having a USA address if you are doing it in America. Your unique business name, which is the name that you're going to be displaying. At this point, they're going to need to verify your phone number. So you see in the bottom half of this screen, I wonder if you can all see my mouse. So you enter your mobile number here and click the send or text me now. So you will notice that this little flag here is not Australia. You'll put it on the Australian flag and it always switches through to this. It's just a bug in the system, and just ignore it because the call will come through and you will get the number. So when you get it, text me now, it'll click, you'll get a code coming through on your phone, and you enter it in, and then you can go to the next step. So then you enter that information: who will receive income, individual or business, are you a US person? No, you're not, because you're in Australia. Then you have to enter your full name, the country of citizenship, which is Australia, the permanent address. Make sure this is consistent, as Kate said, with the bank statement. Just keep it all consistent there. Then there's this thing that everyone's heard about, the W8 Ben form. Please provide your tax information. So push start on here and go into that. And actually, it's just an online form. It's about 2 pages. Put in your name, put in the address, put in your business details, and it's very consistent with all of the information you've been entering up to this date. So just keep it all the same, keep it all consistent. Then you have to electronically sign it and exit the interview, and then they're like, yep, that's good, that's been submitted. At the very end of the creating the account, they ask you what your product categories are, and this is a couple of pages of different things you can click. Don't worry too much about that. That's actually just Amazon doing some marketing on their side, so you really don't have to get this right at this point. Just click something that's roughly in the, roughly what you think you're going to be doing. Yeah. So Oh, and I'll go into this and just show you this when we actually log in. One other thing, the question on the driver's license. In Australia, it needs to be both sides in one PDF document. And in the US, you need to submit the front of the driver's license and the back of the driver's license on separate documents. And, you just have to do that. It's just a bit of a pain. They will reject it. Feel free to submit the same information twice, and you probably will get past the second time through. So I just want to, this is just one thing that's particular to the US. Once the account's set up, whether you're in Australia or the US, you're automatically on a professional plan, which is around $40 a month. And that's $40 for Australia, $40 for USA, wherever you happen to be. So in the US, you can actually, if you go into My Services, you can actually downgrade, and they charge the first month, but then after that, you're on an individual selling plan. Even if you've registered as a business, you can still run on the individual selling plan. With that, you can't sell in FBA though, so you can't ship your products off to a warehouse. So you have to upgrade before you can do that. But just while you're getting set up, that's quite a good way of doing it. In Australia, you look, they have had various offers in the past. At the moment, your best bet is to just write them a nice letter saying, I don't have any products, and quite often they'll give you a month or two for free. So that is worth trying. So look, I'm going to just go and sign in. This is the account that I created.
So we're going live.
Oh yeah, we're going. So this is live. Yeah. So I just clicked the sign in on Seller Central, and then it's come up with this two-step verification. So what you get is a code on your phone that you have to enter, and so you will just enter it. Now, the first time you log into your account, they'll ask you to put your phone number in, and they'll ask you to put a secondary phone number in. Just put your phone number in, and then you'll have to do that validation that I mentioned before. The second phone number, you can actually click Don't Validate Now. So it's not like you need someone sitting right next to you. And just pick someone. It doesn't really matter. I mean, unless you're working with a partner, the chances of having to use that number is pretty slight. Just pick someone and, just mention it sometime. Yeah. Really doesn't matter. Anyway, this is the main screen for Seller Central. And you can see all the orders, all the sales summary, buyer's messages down here, payment summary. Here we go. This was the charge, $43.99. I started the account a few days ago. Yeah. So what we're going to do, first thing we'll do, actually, I'll just show you. If you go into account info under settings and over to here, your services manage, this is where you can cancel pending downgrade. I don't want to do that, but at the end of the month, I'll be downgraded to an individual.
Show where you load up the identification.
Well, yeah, that's all already loaded, but you can see here, you will have to go in here and put in your deposit methods and your charge methods. You actually don't get in until you've put the charge methods in. But, oh, hang on, I just did log out. Oh no, I logged out. Look, I'm going to have to do this again. But all of the different, basically all of the information's there, and you can update it all if you want. So I only kept this on so I could show you all. Whoops.
859509.
I could click Don't Ask for Codes on this browser, which I should do. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, all of the other information is here. Business address, legal entity, registered office address, etc., etc. And that's the W8 Ben form that you filled out. But we're going to go now and create a product. So we're going to go into inventory along here. Just on this tab, a lot of these are consistent in the Australian Seller Central. Australia Seller Central doesn't have the advertising at the moment. So you can't do the pay-per-click campaigns within Amazon, but that is apparently coming very soon. So that will be there. Some of these things like promotions down the bottom, which is you can do 30% off or whatever, that's actually found under inventory on the Australian side. Anyway, we're going to go in here and we're going to go into Manage Inventory and we're going to add a product.
And show them the Word document now.
Yes. So to create a new product listing, if it's a product that already exists and you're reselling, you can just enter the UPC here and it will find what you're looking for. Or if it's not in the Amazon catalog, you can create a new product listing. So, and it comes up here, you can just type in something, like they're giving an example here, MP3 player, and it will suggest some categories. Or if you want, you can go down here and choose the category yourself. So look, we have got a product together that we're planning on setting up today, which is this eco-sustainable reusable straws that actually we just got off. Yeah. It's already there, so yeah, don't set this up.
It's an existing product that we've just taken all the information from. What I would suggest before you go into setting up a listing is that you put this onto a Word document, and like we have. And so we've actually loaded this document up into the documents, yeah, into handouts, so that you can download it. So you can get a bit of an idea. We're not saying it's good copy or anything like that, but it shows you all the information you should have thought through and got organised before you go near trying to load up an inventory.
Yeah, look, sometimes, not always, but sometimes if you have a title and then you want to go and change it a month later, it won't let you do it unless you can show the manufacturer's website and where that exact wording is on the website or the Facebook page. So then you have to go create a Facebook page. It's just easier to get this one right up front with the title. So look, in this document, we have a title, which is this large writing you can see there. We have 5 bullet points, which are the 5 bullet points at the top of the listing. We have a description, which just talks about the product. We then took that listing and put it into HTML. So that's the same, exactly the same, but you can see we've put in, a bit of HTML to make bits bold and to put breaks in and what have you. Otherwise, it will all just be banded together. Then we've got the keywords or search terms. Got a number of those, some intended uses, target audience, other attributes, portable, reusable, and then subject matter. So that's all of the information that we're going to be putting in. So when we create a product, the other thing that we need is a UPC or EAN. So, Kate, do you want to mention where you buy these? Or?
Okay, so, well, look, this is commonly discussed in the Facebook page, but there's GS1, which is the endorsed Amazon sellers of UPC codes, or there's the one that is regularly recommended is Nationwide Barcodes, which is a reseller of GS1 barcodes. There's debates about it, so if you're uncertain, GS1 is a lot more expensive. Nationwide is dramatically cheaper. GS1 requires an annual renewal. I know ours is about $785 or something quite substantial, an annual fee to keep an unlimited amount of barcodes that we have.
10,000.
10,000 something. I think we're optimistic. Yeah, so have a look at GS1 versus other UPC codes so you understand the difference. But many people in the Facebook group are using, in AOE, are using the Nationwide. What you get is from them is a spreadsheet. Now, this spreadsheet becomes a Bible.
It does. Yeah, don't lose it and don't lose track of it. And when you get it, you'll actually get a list of the EAN UPC barcodes here. Just add a few extra columns. So add in something for your SKU. And then when you get it, add in your ASINs, your descriptions and your products and different colours and what have you, just so that you've got one place that you can go to get all of that information. And even if you wanted to be really fancy about it all, you could put in your FNSKU barcode there, and then you've always got that somewhere where you know where it is.
And an image.
And an image of it, yeah. So that would be a good thing as well.
Yep.
Okay, so we are going to start. So these are the 2 products we're going to set up, which is about 1 product with 2 variations. So we'll have a parent, which is the reusable straws, and it will come in either stainless steel or black. So because there are 2 children or 2 variations, we need 2 barcodes. So I'm just going to take the first one. It really doesn't matter which one it is. It could be either. Now, where are we? Okay, where are we going to classify these and where are they going to go in? I think they'd have to go into home and kitchen.
Home and kitchen,
Yeah. And then they would go in kitchen and dining. Yeah. Look, the category as well, Amazon does shift them around. So if you put it in and get it wrong, it'll probably be moved at some point.
Cutlery and knife.
Cutlery and knife, yes. This is what we want. Oh, and it goes on.
Yeah.
And can anyone see straws? No.
Look, what you also do is look at what you do a competitor analysis, and you'd have a pretty good idea of what the categories are before you go near doing your inventory. Yeah.
Yes. Travel and to go drinkware. This is what we want.
So
look, it's not there. I'm just going to pick water bottles because it's a demo product. Yeah, you would. You'd go and see your.
You've got to get your categories right. Yeah.
So, vital info. The most vital info is your product ID. I know it's a UPC. You can click UPC and it may work. If you do EAN, it's actually more likely to work. That's just a thing within Amazon.
It's a glitch in the Amazon system.
I don't think it's in the Australian one. I think the Australian one's okay. Anyway, I'm going to just now cut and paste. The format doesn't matter. It'll just reformat everything. We don't have... what should we call it? Eco... Oh, black light. Oh, yeah, we'll call it black light. Black light. Black light. Okay. Now, at this point, you can't save and finish anyway, but don't. At this point, when you're creating the product, it's the only time that you can add in the structure of the variations. So at this point, we could choose, we just have different colors. So we're actually just going to choose color name, but we could choose color and size. So you could have a really long straw and a really short straw, or, you know, I don't know, length, a really long straw. But this is the time that you pick it. If you create it just with the color name, which we're going to do, and then later you want to go in and add a different variation like size, you have to delete the whole product, bring it down for 24 hours, bring it back out, make sure you get the SKUs right and everything right, and it's just a bit painful. Anyway, so we're going to put in black and stainless steel. It's very easy at this point, or at any point, to add extra colours. Once you've got a variation in, you can just go and, you know, delete them and add them and so on. So we had the, we don't want eco-sustainable. We want to go back in here and get our codes. Colour map's important, just for SEO, just so that they can find, you know, it just helps with searching. I guess stainless steel, silver. Now the SKU, I haven't put a SKU in actually for the parent. I always forget to do that, which is good because then we'll get to see what type of SKU you get automatically. But we do want to just get these SKUs so that we have a meaningful name.
So just explain the difference there.
So this SKU, this is a unique identifier that you have for the products that you have in your warehouse. So this is a SKU that you'll make up, and you'll, with your suppliers, you'll work with them with this number. And this is what you and your suppliers and your agents, everyone will know the product through this name. They won't if you get that wrong and you get the default. You'll have a different method of doing it, but this is just so much easier to get that done at that point. Yeah. So yeah, it's well, and if you've got it in the spreadsheet, you're more likely to remember. Okay, so we're going to pick the EAN here. Select condition new, because everything's new. You do need to put in a price. We haven't even talked about what we're going to sell this for, but I'm putting them in at $19.99. And start with 0, just so that it doesn't go live and you don't start selling a product that you don't have. Okay. Now the offer we don't need to do because we've filled it out with the variations. Vital info, it's more than 200 characters. We didn't measure that. Okay, I'm just going to scroll along here and we'll just, after this one, we'll get rid of it. Yeah, so it is limited to 200. Okay, look, and we'll load up the images now. So basically, whoops, I'm sorry, going to the wrong spot. Okay, we're going to load up the images. Load up the hero shot. And I might load up that one next. And so these are all good images. They've all got good.
It was a good listening.
Yeah, it is. Where are we? 3. And look, it is quite handy if you've got the images to number them like this, because
I hope it's not an AOE person. This was randomly picked.
But it's quite handy to number them like this. We just did that just so you can keep track. If you're deleting them and putting, you know, images like you have to relist or whatever, you can remember what order they're in. So it's quite good. Okay. So in here we have the images. We don't have that offer. We've got the variations, which has the offer, which is the pricing, and we have the vital info. And we're going to save and finish.
You didn't do a swatch.
Oh no, you don't. That's when the children pop up. So we actually quite often have to wait about 15 minutes. No, it's usually faster than that, for the product to appear down here in the Manage Inventory. So I'm just clicking that and refreshing it, and it will pop up any minute. One thing I will show, just while we're waiting for that, if you click on Orders, and at the moment it's Manage Orders Fulfilled by Amazon. If you're actually fulfilling them yourself, it will show nothing and you'll be like, no, but there is an order, and you'll get really worried. Just click on this View Seller Fulfilled Orders and then you can switch between. But whichever one you're on last is the one that it will be on. So just remember that, so you don't need to freak out when you go in there. Anyway, here it is. Yay. So here's the product. Look, this is the SKU that you get if you get it automatically. And it's just a completely meaningless number that you just could never memorize and never use. So we've got variations for this, and it's like, oh, what are the variations? So you click on that little arrow and you get here, here's the name, and in brackets black, which was the name of one of the variations, and then the name, and in brackets stainless steel. Available 0, pricing, and what have you. So the products are there. If we go in and have a look at the products, you will see currently unavailable, and there's no details because we haven't put in the description and everything, and there are no images on the children. If you click on the parent, the images aren't there yet anyway. Okay, so look, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and edit the parent now, and we're just going to add in the description and all of those details.
Okay, just give them an idea of the time frames for loading images and changing images.
Yes, if you mean the 15 or...
Nothing's ever instant.
Yes, no. So if I go in here and update the product description and the key product features, which are those 5 bullet points, and then say, yay, save and finish, and then go, oh, but I wanted to do keywords and images, it will just, and then I go in again to edit, we'll lose everything that I've just done, because it takes about 15 minutes to, well, not necessarily 15 minutes, but it takes up to 15 minutes to actually store it all there. So your best bet is to go into a product, do everything you need to do before you exit out. And you know, expect to have to write everything 4 or 5 times, and that is why it is good to have a Word document. Because you do.
Those bullets.
I'm going to do. Oh, we'll find out. And they've got bullets on them.
Yeah.
We don't. You wouldn't have bullets on them. So I'm going to add in 5 bullet points. These are probably the most important thing you can have on your listing.
So you use all the add mores.
I'm going to leave the bullet points in there because then you can all see the bullet points in there. Okay. So that, oh yeah, that's just at the end of it. Okay, and then I'm going to put in the description, but I'm going to put in the HTML version. You can just put it in as straight text, and you can just look up HTML and just sort of update it bit by bit, you know, do little tests and things. There we go. So we've got that in, we've got that. Do we want to put a warning? Yeah, why not? We'll just leave it at that, not suitable for children. Keywords. Okay. Hang on. Wait. Okay. Interestingly as well, depending on whether you're in Australia, depending on whether you're in the USA or wherever, and also depending on what category you're in, sometimes with the search terms you have to enter them all in one row, and other times you have to enter them one by one. The Australian architecture is actually a bit more modern, so it's a bit more flexible. Okay, target audience. I can just type this.
Yep.
Whoops.
Mums.
Mums.
Dads.
Whoops. Dads.
Teenagers.
And
Students.
was it teenagers?
Students.
Students. And they come up with a few recommendations, but you can ignore
Do
them.
a couple of add more. I always do the full amount.
Oh, but with Sister Dim.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then other attributes, portable.
I'll read it out.
Oops, oh, hang on. This one we're going to do commas. Oh, and this is the one I put in separate lines. Okay, let's see what happens. There we go. And then the subject matter, again, if you click on it, there's only a couple there, but you can actually type other ones in. So we're going to say birthday present and travelling gift. And the search terms is basically we have to put them all in one line. So this is the keywords, the search terms, the efficacy of them, or how well they work. It changes so quickly. This is like a moving target. And you're not meant to use repeats, you're not meant to use commas at the moment, but kind of how do you not use straw? This is a really difficult one. This is one that the coaches spend a lot of time working out.
You're meant to do 250. We did that very quickly, and it was just a brain dump. So it's not been analysed. It's not anything. So this is just to show you technically how to do it.
Yes. Okay. Now, have we got the images? No, we don't. The images vanished. So we will go in and add the images. That's because I went into the product too quickly. Okay. So let me just add them all in. And see, isn't it good that I numbered them? Because now I don't have to think. I can just do it, which is good. Okay, so we've got all the images there. Okay, and I'm going to click Save and Finish. So we've just updated the parent, okay? And so the children, what will happen when you update the parent text and images, if you're just doing sizes and some of the different variations, the images will actually flow down to the children. And so you only ever need to update the parent. But because we've chosen colour, the images won't. But all of the description and the text and the keywords will. So you can go in and update them if you want to have different keywords or, you know, slightly different description. But it's kind of really easy to just update the parent and not have to update all of the children for that. So that's really good. So look, we're going to go in now and just edit one of the children. And it will be interesting to see if the description's been updated because we only just did it. Yes, yay. So here's the description and we'll just leave all of that as is. Here's all of the keywords. We'll just leave them all as is. You may, you know, it's black and stainless steel, so you may want to do, I don't know, target the black market for people that like black things, I don't know. Anyway, so because they're different colours, we need to do different images for both. But look, we don't have different images, so I'm just going to put the same images in.
But you can see the need about getting it organised beforehand, before you start doing the listing.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, because you can get lost in this, and keeping it all consistent, it can be a bit of a pain. Okay, now you notice down the bottom here is an extra square called swatch. What that is actually the colour of the variation that you have. So what you're going to load up, we've got, where are we here? We've got black. You can see there it's black. So we're going to load up a black swatch, which I happen to have prepared early. So that's there. And we're going to save and finish. Excellent. And then we will go, click down again, and go in and edit. And see, the images aren't showing up yet. They'll take a little while to get there. Sometimes those little thumbnail images actually take about 24 hours to show up, but don't freak out because they will be there. Okay, so there's all of the descriptions there, keywords are there. We just need the images. So we'll load them all up.
Note this listing did have emojis at the beginning of the bullets, and so you can put the code where that in each of the 5 bullets when you do your listing, you can add the emoji code at the beginning. What's
your theory about adding that up front to get approval for the product? Is it, can you get it through? I thought you had, I don't know, do you have to wait a little while? Okay, I need a colour swatch. I've got a stainless steel one here. It's a different size, but it'll actually shape them all. So yeah, what Kate's saying is in here you can put HTML.
For an emoji.
For an emoji. Okay, save and finish. And so, depending on how long it takes to update, when we click on here, it's tricky because we don't have any product in stock, and I may have to change it to put 1 in for each, so that we actually get the information. Yeah, it's not updating all of this, but that's okay. We can leave that. I am just going to change that to 1 because it would be very good to show you. Changes made. You don't get. You can see the product, and it will show up with the descriptions and the bullet points and everything, you know, within the next few minutes. But that the colour swatches. It won't show them unless they're actually in stock, which is good. So, for example, if we just go to this demo product here, or not demo, just, you know, an ad, see all of their colour swatches, all of those are in stock. So if they sold out of the red, that one won't show up. And it's going to the actual, so here it's going to blue. They're the actual listings on the variations, whereas the listings that are here on the side are just the generic ones for the parent. Oops, sorry, I don't mean to jump too much. But then if we click on the green, it will show up and have the green, oh, we're on a different image now, green on the parent. Yeah, and so on and so forth. So that's basically how that works. Okay, so what we might do, just while we're waiting for that to happen, is convert it to FBA.
Yep.
And create a shipping plan and what have you. Yep. Now, with Amazon products, when they're in a warehouse, like the Amazon warehouse, Amazon only cares about them as individual products. So the fact that they're children's irrelevant to, you know, the warehouse management. I don't even know if they put them together. So we don't convert the parent, which is this top one, and you actually see there's no option to convert it. So you have to open that up with this arrow and you convert the children. I will just say, you can see here the fabulous SKUs that we named, and they're so meaningful. And I will just grab these ASINs that are here, and I will find our spreadsheet and put them in, just because we're so good at documentation. just so that we can find our product.
It's a hard-learned
so
a bit of skill that we've acquired.
Yes, so we have. Okay, so I'm going to have one more go just to see if everything's there. Yes. Okay, but it's still unavailable. Okay, so it's not showing that it's in stock, but you can see the bullet points are here.
Yeah.
And you can see all of the descriptions there, and you can see some's in bold, some's not, and there are spaces. That was all of the HTML that we put in, and you can, play around with that and get it exactly how you want it. Okay, so that's all good. So I'm going to just pick one of these products and change to Fulfilled by Amazon, which is just, I should just say, here's the edit. There's little arrows to the side of the edit. You click on those and there's a heap of different choices. So change to Fulfilled by Amazon. And we're going to use the Amazon barcode. If it's a product that already exists and you're reselling, you can use the manufacturer's barcode, and you can actually use the manufacturer's barcode just for yours. Tend to run into a lot of problems. And if it is a product that other people are selling, it all goes into the same pile in the warehouse, and they just pick out the product that's closest to the person that's ordered it. So, it's kind of good in that you get faster shipping, but say someone else isn't as careful and the boxes have been damaged, or they've stored it with a cat in the room and there's cat hair, stuff like that. That's going to reflect badly on your product. So I don't know. The Amazon barcode's a bit of a pain. That's the FNSKU, but it also keeps it as your product. We're going to do convert and send inventory. You don't have to. You can just convert it. And it wants to know about batteries. No, we don't have batteries. It's all fine. It's not hazmat. So click on that. Save and continue. Continue to shipping plan. Individual products, just so you've got control over how many you want to send. Yes. So the first time you go in, you need to say how big the product is. I don't actually know, but judging, I'm guessing it's like about 5 centimetres by maybe 8 by 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many grams, maybe 80. Is that too heavy? Probably. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so we're just putting in, it is eligible, yes, but we don't want to do that. So look, we want to ship 20 units. Whoops, 20 units over.
Yeah.
We can add products here. I'm not going to, because I'd have to go convert the other one and it would just take a bit longer. And we'll continue.
So just to clarify, what you're saying is that you can add 2 different products, a range of 2 different products into the one package.
Yes.
In the same shipping plan.
Maybe I should I do it?
It's probably useful.
Yeah. Okay.
For people to understand how you do that.
Okay. We will go. So I wonder if it just saved that, or if, yes. So, okay. So we got far enough through that that's now converted to Fulfilled by Amazon, and we can switch it back to Fulfilled by Merchant. So I'll just go get the other product. So we're going back into the Manage All inventory, back into the parent to find the children. And we want to convert this other second one, which is the stainless steel, to Fulfilled by Amazon. We want to use our barcode, convert and send inventory. And all of this, the dangerous goods and everything, you only have to do it the first time. Save and continue. Okay, so create a new shipping plan, because I just cancelled out of the other one. Okay, so we have this product in here and we want to add a product. So it goes through and says, what other Amazon Fulfilled products have you got? This one here, which is the black. So we're going to add that in as well. Cool. So if we go back to here,
You've got 2 products.
We've got 2 products. So we've got the black variation and we've got the stainless steel. And you notice the black isn't asking for this info. I don't remember what size. I think it was 5 by 8 by 2. It doesn't matter if they're not the same, because,
And it was 80
grams. And click save there. If you don't click that save, it doesn't actually save it. Okay, we want to ship 20 of those, and maybe we only have 15 of those. So we're shipping those. And we'll continue. And so what this is we're shipping them in the same shipment. We'll continue. prep guidance. So we are assuming, like there's all different things, baby product, sharp, fragile glass. If you click on these, it will take you through and say how you have to package it. It's usually by the time you get to this point, you've worked out how you have to package it. So I'm not going to go into that. So no prep needed. You still have to say who's going to do it, merchant. There is an option in the US for Amazon to label, but it's expensive, isn't it?
We tend to arrange for the labelling to happen before it goes anywhere near Amazon.
Okay, so we've said no prep, continue. Now, this page here is actually just talking about not the quantity we're sending, 20 and 15, but just the number of labels to print. So this is, the label is the FN SKU, okay? So I'm just going to say we want one of each and then print labels for this page. And you can see down here it's downloaded. Just going to open that up. You can see how, just in the amount of time we've been talking, now I've got like 10 tabs open. It's just amazing how quickly that happens. So these are the FN SKUs. And they're both on the same page. You could have just done, if you want them on separate pages, you could have done 1 and 0 and then done it the other way around to get them. But anyway, what I would do now is put them into Photoshop, cut and paste and save them as individual items. I don't know, you can put in here next to the new, you could put in, you know, made in Australia or made in China, yeah. Manufacturers, details, you know, anything like that that you might need on it. You can, you know, they can be bigger labels. The reason that I don't use all of these templates is because, we can do 15 and print labels, just the paper sizing is different. And even if you pick A4, it still doesn't match up with any of our paper here. I've just gone through so many different labels. So you get it, you get your one and you save it as a JPEG and then you go buy, I don't know, Avery or whatever, and then you create your own template in a Word document. And it's just easier, even though it's still quite painful. Okay, but yeah, get your master.
Or outsource it to a virtual assistant.
Outsource it, yeah.
It's good at labels.
Yeah. So, and look, when you get your perfect label, like, you know, it's got all of your like your made in China, manufactured, whatever, save it. And, you know, even if you want to be really good, put it in there. And then you've just got everything that you need. Okay. The FN SKUs will be different in Australia to the USA. So when you save them, make a note as to what country they are. Okay, so print labels, we don't need to update those quantities to continue. That was just for printing labels, so you don't need to worry about that. And once you've done it once, you just keep using those same labels. You don't need to do it every time because you've got them saved somewhere, hopefully. Okay, so, this is an interesting one. Okay, this is really interesting. It is telling us that we need to, normally with a new product, it always goes to one location. It is telling us, this would be a really interesting debate for the Facebook page because I have a theory on this. It is telling us to send it to 3 different locations, Salt Lake City, San Marcos, and Joliet, which is the main one that you usually get in Illinois, yeah. So this one's got 2 SKUs. We'll just view the contents there. So it's saying ship 8 of the stainless steel and 20 of the black, but it wants a few over here. Now look, but you've packaged them all up really nicely in a box of 20 and a box of 15, and you're ready to go, and it's all taped up, and you don't want to get a whole lot of little ones, and even sending from Australia is ridiculously expensive anyway. You want to send them all to the one place. So what you do is just give it a meaningful name, like, I don't know, first shipment, black and SS. Just ignore them. Let's just forget that they're there. And anyway, look, it's the easiest way. You can go through and you can separate them all out. But anyway.
That probably is
we should debate this. I would be really interested to hear what Neil should do about this. It works. This works, but you get a little. They send you a little note saying, please get your product quantities right. And, so there's got to be a better way. But anyway. Okay, so we're going to now, so this one here, you can see we've given that one a meaningful name. We haven't given those meaningful names. We're going to now work on this shipment. You can't modify the units. You can only modify them by 10%. So let's just not worry about that. Pick other here, because if you pick in the US, the DHL and Federal Express, they have a fabulous capability of being able to share the shipment with other people shipping from the same area going into an Amazon warehouse. And it's really, really cheap and it's really good, but we just can't use that. Okay, how will the shipment be packed? We're going to do, let's have it all in one box. Let's say more than one SKU per box. Yeah. So we've got a box with 35 products in it, which is the 20 of one and the 15 of the other. So, okay, and we're going to have one box, confirm that. And so, look, we're just going to do this, 20 in there and 8 in there. Now, when they arrive, there'll actually be 15 of these. And they do adjust the quantity. Do not do this method if there's zero of something. Don't just send because they'll lose it, and they do lose them. There has to be something, and then they count them and go, oh, there's actually 15. Yeah. And then you have to reconcile, and it's all fine. You don't actually need to put in the weight and the dimensions for that, and we'll just confirm that. Okay. Now, down here is the shipping labels. So we go print box labels, and we get here box 1 of 1, and so this is the actual shipping label that you will stick on the box, take to the post office or the courier, and this is what is shipped off to the USA or to Australian FBA. If there's more than one box, it will tell you the quantities of the different items in the box down here. If it's the US, in Australia it doesn't, it just says mixed SKUs, and it just works it out. So so then you've got that, and we want to complete the shipment. And then something that's quite important to do, up here, you want to mark it as shipped, just so that it knows to expect it. Yeah. Oh, hang on, I went to the wrong place. And then we go down here to manage FBA shipments. And, oh, hang on, I didn't click. Oh, hang on, where am I? There we go, manage FBA shipments. And you will see, oh, that was the one we'd already done. This is the one that has been shipped. These two are just sitting there. Look, we need to discuss this actually, because I also mark them as shipped too, so it knows to expect a certain quantity. And they do. They just send you an email. So I would go in there and mark them as shipped as well. Anyway, so, and I'm not sure if it's going to show up immediately, but because the products are still there, what it will show, it just needs, again, 15, 20 minutes, is this inbound, it will show as being the quantity that's coming in. And so the 15 and the 20. And then when it arrives, it goes over to reserved and then becomes available. Some of them will stay reserved while they ship them to those other destinations that it wanted to be in, and it will do that, and you probably get a small fee. So that's basically
Click up
it.
there.
Yes.
So I'm just seeing if any questions have come.
Yeah, we'll just see if there are any questions. Oh, hang on, there's questions. I can't see it. Why do you tend not to get Amazon to label?
Okay.
Look, for one thing, if you get Amazon to label, you already have to have a UPC code on it. So if it's your own product and you're going to label it, you might as well get the FNSKU on it rather than the UPC, unless you've got it, printed and it's in your packaging and it's ready to go there. But we found when we were shopping around, it was just more expensive.
It was more expensive. And we've used China division in China for doing our labelling. We've used China division. We've used sample checkers. In the US, we've used a company called My Fulfilment Team. and there's a quite well-reputed company in California, and I don't know their name. We haven't used them. And there's in Australia FBA Prep. So that tends to be where people have been going rather than getting Amazon. Once you've got it to Amazon, it's an expensive exercise. It's better to get it checked by somewhere else. And just to make sure that the product is correct, that it's got the right poly bag, has it got the suffocation warnings on it, has it got the right labelling. You need somebody to check it before it goes from the manufacturer to FBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on this one, should product images be square or rectangular? They can be either. The hero image needs to be square, and it needs to be a minimum of 2,000 by, not a minimum, a max, well, it needs to be 2,000 by 2,000 pixels, between that and 1,000 by 1,000. So that has to be square, has to be a white background, can't have anything else in it other than the product. But the others, you've got a bit of flexibility. I don't know why I can't make that larger. I don't know if you can all see that.
Can you press that there?
No, it'll make it disappear. Okay. We've got teeny weeny little questions we have to scroll through. Yeah. Okay, there's a lot of points. There's a lot of questions. Where do you get the swatches? Look, the first one, the black one, I just went into PowerPoint and did a square and coloured it black and saved it. And the second one, I did a Google search on stainless steel and just saved an image. It shapes them, it puts them in the right shape.
You could always use, I mean, Susie uses PowerPoint, Photoshop. I don't have Photoshop. I use Canva, and Canva's great for doing that sort of stuff.
Or you can use, your suppliers would actually have swatches that you probably have chosen from that you could use. Smiley face sort of emoji. Someone asked a question, do you mean, you would see people have like smiley faces, or like you'd have a little drinking cup with an umbrella on it if you're doing, the straws, that kind of thing. You can have something to just add a bit of interest.
So, and in terms of the example, look, this afternoon I went in, I got that listing. I thought it was an interesting product. I thought it was a well-presented listing. I thought that the character count was definitely over what the recommended character count is, but it is live on the US platform. So I suppose the character counts can change between different categories, and it's allowed us to put these large character count bullets up there. So is that useful? Yeah, I don't know. I think it's too many words, but it's still, it was a very accomplished looking listing when it just caught my eye.
And look, it may stay like this forever, or in about 2 weeks' time, you quite often get a review on a product once it's been live and you've sold about 5 products.
And it's been...
and they may come back and just say, nah, it's too long and you've got to change it. But equally, this one that it was cut from has been up there for a long time, and they're doing it and it's all fine. Okay, why do we not tend to get Amazon? We've answered that. What happens to the other shipping plans? Look, this is, I wasn't expecting there to be 3 shipping plans, and we do need to have a conversation about this.
Yes.
I marked them all as ship because you want Amazon to know that it's going to get the full 15 of that product.
Yeah.
It should, and I have heard there's a way, and I haven't actually worked. I need to work it out. But this works. Yeah. You just mark them all as ship, and they all get sent over, and then they go, oh, this was meant to go to San Marcos, and so they then forward it, and they write you an email that says, don't do that again. Look, I know it's not probably... It's
slightly naughty.
It's slightly naughty. There will be on Facebook in the next few days probably a better way of doing that, because I'm sure someone's worked that one out. Yes, metadata for images.
Absolutely. When we're doing this, we assume that you having got your copy sorted, having done your keyword research, all of that, and that your image would be metadata enabled before you load them up.
Yeah, so you'd have all of these would be meta tagged at that point.
So you would have organised that before going in and going anywhere near setting up your inventory.
But you can, it is quite easy to update images.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you don't have the meta tag, load them up, get a meta tag, load them up.
Yeah.
Okay. What if I am shipping from China? What if I'm shipping from China? That's probably about the labeling. Yeah, they need to be labeled. I mean, quite often you can get suppliers to put the FNSKU labels on.
You can arrange with the manufacturers, but then you've got nobody checking it
and the
unless
other thing
you get
is,
an inspection.
If you have the FNSKU on the product, they or even the ASIN, anything like that, they can just go and see your listing and they can say, oh, but I can do it heaps cheaper.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're going to copy your whole listing.
Yeah.
I don't actually like doing that.
So we tend to have a third party that we send our packaging to, that we send our products to, and that pulls our packaging together with our product and does our labeling so that our manufacturer is not across the full, I suppose, full kind of visual and full realization of what our product is, because they're going straight to the platform and selling directly, and you know, potentially ripping off every aspect of your operation. Once they know your brand, they know, you know, they know everything,
and they make the product so they can do it cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay, I do not have a warehouse. Can I get Amazon to pick up from manufacturer? You can send it from your manufacturer in the country of origin to the warehouse.
Yep.
So if you give that shipping label, I wonder if I still have it up here. No, it's gone. Have I got it? No, I don't know where it is. There? No, it's gone. Anyway, those shipping labels, if you send them through to your manufacturer or your agent, they will then send it through and deliver it to the Australian warehouse, or the US warehouse.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Paul Nelson. Although we're not laddies, I think we're ladies. Do I send all the labels to my shipper? Shippers usually prefer to make their own labels with their own templates.
Yeah.
And so what they actually tend to prefer is one high definition version, like one JPEG, and then they can size it and they can put it into their templates and print it out.
Yeah.
Just check with them, but that's most common.
Yeah.
Because if you start sending them Australian A4 templates with Avery, whatever, that's going to really annoy them.
That'll annoy them.
Yeah, I'm confused about the 2 barcodes. Yes, totally. It's really confusing.
Go back to your spreadsheet.
Okay. So this barcode here, which is the UPC, is the Universal Product Code.
That's what you buy from Nationwide Barcode.
Yeah, and every single product that you buy in a supermarket anywhere has this barcode on it. That's the one that they, you know, scan through the checkout. And that's a universal way of recognizing a product and selling it anywhere.
So it means if you put a UPC on your product, you have the potential for that product to be sold on Amazon, but it also means that you could potentially, a lot of AOE people now are being contacted by people interested in wholesaling their product and selling it in a retail environment or some kind of market environment. So that by having a UPC code on it, it means that it enables the product to be sold in all those different places.
Yes, whereas the FNSKU is a barcode that you only need in the Amazon warehouses.
Yeah.
And that is for Amazon to recognise the product within their system and within their warehouse. And look, a big part of Amazon and how it runs is actually quite historical because, you know, it's a massive, massive online marketplace and they really can't change their architecture too much. So even if they were to think, oh, there's going to be a better way of doing this, they really can't change too much about it because it will just affect so many buyers and sellers and probably destroy their business.
Yeah.
So it's just something that you have to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope we answered that. Yeah. When our products went to one Amazon warehouse and they distributed to the other, you got a big bill, did you? Yeah, I've only got little bills so far, but I've been meaning to look into this.
Yes.
There's got to be, look, This needs to be a discussion, and we don't have a solution tonight. Sorry about that, Francis. Yeah. Okay. Why are there two barcodes? UPC. I think they both go on the products? Look, you can stick the FNSKU over the UPC barcode. Yes, there are specific dimensions that you can just find them on Amazon. If you do a search, I can do a search. Just find. They can find it. Yeah, you can find it. If you just go into the help here and just do barcode dimensions, it'll come up with a whole lot. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Do your American inspection companies also repackage after inspection, or do they inspect samples? They'll just do 1 out of 100 or something, and they repackage. That's right. Yeah. When you first click on this product, is the colour of the parent listing the same colour as the first child? Yes, that is the first one that will come up. So yes, that's interesting. So you're right. It does matter, because you may always want it to be, if you've got a particular. I do actually automatically pick the product I think might be the most popular, the best seller. Not that I know. You don't know until you get them up, but you kind of take a bit of a guess at that. Blacklight has a bit of one of the product title and not the others. Look, Oh yes, look at that. Yeah. Blacklight. I saw that. Yeah. Interesting. It automatically puts the name of the manufacturer in front, and you're meant to. Yeah. And you can get in trouble for not doing so. That's really interesting. I would say give it 24 hours and see if they've all got blacklight. Yeah, look, it's put it in the parent. Yeah. If you want to change it and make them consistent, you can. It's like a split test. Yeah. Otherwise not. Yeah. But that is something Amazon will move categories as well. They'll just make some modifications like that, and you can go and try to take it out if you want. But it is a rule that you are meant to start always with the manufacturer or the brand at the beginning. Yes, they will reconcile the shipment, Chrissy. The question about will they reconcile? Yeah. But someone just said earlier on that they were hit with a really big bill. I've only had warnings so far, but probably the big bill is going to be coming. This is a discussion we need to have on Facebook, I think. Can you please show how to apply meta tag images? Not tonight. We're not set up for that tonight. Yeah. I don't think. You don't have the 1H. So that's something Neil's done a number of times. And what, he runs through it and shows people? Neil's done that quite a few times. So I'll get him to do that again. Yeah, and look, if you've got Photoshop, you can actually just go in there. Most people don't have Photoshop. No, okay. Blacklight's a graphic design company. Yeah. Do you have preferred third-party checking companies that you can recommend in Australia and the US? Look, we do all of our checking in China. Yeah. We use sample checkers. We stage from China. Yeah, and they're fabulous. And they do all the checking for us and then send to Australia direct to the warehouses and to the US and to Canada. And we're really happy with that. We did use My Fulfilment. There was a mob in Oregon. Yeah, there are a few around. Kate's got some details of all of that. If you want someone, and you've got someone here that we've used a bit. Any checking companies? In Australia, there's also FBA Prep. They're doing prep services for a bunch, and they're also doing oversized. So if you've got a product that's oversized, they're doing fulfill by merchant distribution. Yeah. If you have the EAN printed on your packaging, can the manufacturer go to your listing somehow? If you've got a listing, it does show the EAN. It was down here in the product detail. Generally is. Yeah. And there's no category or anything there. This is where was that other listing that we found that was a really, a long term? Oh, here we go. Let's see. This has been around a while. It'll have everything it needs to have. Keep going. So this is a brand registry. Brand registry, so it's very swish. Yeah. Product description. Here we go. So it's got all of these different categories that it's bestseller in, reviews. There's no EAN there. No. Anyway. It's only got the ASIN. Yeah. It's only got the ASIN there. So you can see, so if you look
at this listing, the value of a trademark is that you can set yourself up with a brand registered, which allows you to put in the videos, scroll back,
and then
and
all
it
of
gives you this enhanced, so you can put product details, all sorts of additional images and additional text, which is searchable. Which is the real benefit. Amazon is really wanting companies to head down the trademark route.
Yeah, this has been so helpful. Oh, thank you, Lauren. There's so much. Yeah, look, there is, and it is just a thing that look. We didn't talk about that. One of the huge things with Amazon is it is painful, because if it wasn't, absolutely everyone in the world would be selling.
That's right.
And they actually. And the reason they reject you up front always is because they're hoping that, 99% of sellers go away because they've got too many sellers.
Yeah.
And, they do random things all the time, and you just have to keep moving. Imagine yourself to get poetic as water flowing through down a river, and you just got to go with it.
There was one problem where I think Susie said, do you realise this is the 14th touch point that I've had with Amazon to get this problem sorted?
Yes.
I just thought, yep, she's tenacious.
It's ridiculous. You just have to be. Yeah.
So, and one of the things, I suppose, it's the reason why we set up Seller Central setup is that, there's points where the logic of the platform just evades you, and you just go, this is, what am I doing wrong? And inevitably, it's a platform glitch or some kind of oddness.
It's often not you. It's often just, for me, doing those 3 shipments, that was me. But it is often just a strange Amazon thing. Yeah. But, you just have to go with. Now, what size does the EAN for Aussie products need to be? It's a 13-character code. I believe other codes will work, but that tends to be the one. Is that a huge problem now on Amazon? Oh, look, we don't know where. Oh, competition coming from Chinese manufacturers. Totally. Yeah. Give it, 2 or 3 months and assume they're there. Yeah. So you need to be set up. You need to be better than them. The listing needs to look better than them. It needs to look like it's not from China. So all your wording needs to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very real thing. I saw that too. The estimated FBA fees are different for both variations. Why is this different for the same selling price? I wonder if I got the sizing slightly different.
Oh, yeah.
But look, if I would go in and check that, and if they were both consistent and they were both the same, I'd raise a case log for that one and ask the question and probably get one change. You just hope that they don't both go up in price. You hope that you get the lower price. But I did notice that, and I thought that I just set something up inconsistently. But I would double check it, and then I would ask the question. And don't be afraid to raise tickets with Amazon. They do get back, and they are helpful. So and if they don't, then you ask it again and again, and you will find someone.
If a business wants to sell your product, how much do you sell it to them for? Oh, look, that's a wholesale question. The role of, but if you look at what we're talking about in terms of the estimated costs of building a product, on Amazon is 25% landed cost of the product, 25% platform fees, 25% marketing, 25% profit. And if you take that sort of equation and think, well, what are their expenses going to be? What are my expenses? You start to look at what the product cost is going to be. A lot of the wholesalers are charging 50%, and it makes you wonder whether it's going to be viable.
So you do need to do all of those sums, because it'd be very rude for you to be undercutting them on Amazon. If they can't afford to sell it for $10, they have to sell it for $10 more than you are. Why did we not use the Australian Amazon website? Amazon Australia is up and running. We've set up this account as just a demo account. I didn't have any spare passwords in Australia, or not passwords, sorry, emails, because you need a unique email address. But look, also because there's more functionality in America. So as far as go on and demo the pay-per-click and all of that stuff, we couldn't do that if it was on Australia. But Australia's there and it's great. Do we have a Word or Excel template available with all the fields required? No, it varies per product. But the handout runs through the basics, which is the 5 points and the title and all of those search terms.
And
so use that.
There is an article I loaded some time ago about setting up your Amazon listing. So download that.
Oh, look, it just updated the fees. Yay! Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Michael. Give it 24, with listings, new listings, give them 24 hours to settle. Once the product is sent to Amazon warehouse and when a buyer places an order, do we need to manage click anything on Amazon Seller Central? No. So this is a great thing. When you send products to Amazon, they manage everything. They send it out, and you quite often get good feedback saying, great shipping, thanks. And it's like, haha, it wasn't me, it was Amazon, but you get the credit for it. So that's a really good reason to do that.
So we do emails. We are with Feedback Genius in the US, Kibli in Australia, and to move over to Kibli in the US is a bit of a palaver for us because there's so many inventory.
We're missing, yes. So I've got a note here. Someone saying, Con. Hi, Con. Look, tonight we've covered so much, and it's been aimed at sort of people that are familiar and have used Amazon Seller Central a bit. What you've got to do is find your product that you want to sell, and then look at it step by step and go through Neil's training. You can hire us if you want, Seller Central setup. But don't worry, we really did this more as people that already know the system, and you will get to know it.
Or people that have gone in and got a bit confused and stuck and wondered what to prioritise. It just is quite helpful to see it done visually before you go in there. It just gives you a little bit more confidence.
But look, concentrate on getting your product and getting this,
getting this Word
document together with everything you need, and getting the suppliers together and getting the images. The actual setting it up on Amazon is the least, it's the smallest part of it. On the barcodes for products going to the US, should you print both EAN? No, you don't. Unless you're going to sell it somewhere else, you don't need an EAN and an FN SKU. You only need one or the other. We have some products that we only sell on Amazon, and we get the manufacturer to print the FN SKU straight on. So if we ever wanted to sell it in another platform, we'd need labels stuck over it with the UPC. Never, ever, ever give up. Who said that, Paul? Totally, because that's the thing. You give up and then you don't sell anything on Amazon. If you wait to get your inventory checked here and then they find issues, what do you do? Look, they're actually really nice. Like really, when you don't want to do it too often, but we had an issue with labeling, and the printer, I don't know what was going on, but the labels weren't, the ink was coming off or something, and they did relabel them for us. So Amazon will help you. They don't, they don't want to be throwing away products and stuff. So you just got to talk to them. They're not scary. They're a little bit scary, but not too bad. Is it worth or better to start in Amazon Australia now? That's a bigger question, I think.
That's
a big question.
Not a question for now.
But it's a good question.
And everybody's asking that question.
Wait, so the products get checked in China, goes to a third party to package and label before Amazon warehouse or straight to Amazon warehouse. If you're getting things checked in China by someone that you trust, go for it. Go straight to Amazon. You don't need to go to another party because, it all costs money.
Each touch point costs.
So minimise them if you can. Okay. Well, hang on, I'm a bit sorry, we're having to read this on teeny or straight to Amazon warehouse. And no, get whoever's doing the check, get them to put the stickers on. Amazon will only put stickers on something if they've already got a UPC on them anyway. So you're going to be labeling.
Don't get Amazon to do your stickers. That's not recommended.
And the whole, I'm assuming the UPC barcode is printed on the packaging when designing a white label product. Not necessarily, because if you've got different variations, they will have different UPC codes. So, you know, it may be if you're getting 5,000 boxes or whatever printed, you may not want to do, you know, and you've got an MOQ. So it may be cheaper for you to get them all without a label and then you label them.
So one of the things that we have done that has made our product as viable because it's a low-cost product, is that we get 5,000 of our boxes put together with our brand on them, and then depending on which variation we put into that box, we put a different FNSKU label on it. So they are not individually labelled for each individual product. So that's the way we've, I suppose, successfully got away with doing a low-cost product and maintaining the margins.
Now, Lynn, you have said that your first product you've set up didn't have variations. But if there are variations there, if you can get it all in the one listing, I would be tempted to delete the product, have stranded inventory there for a while, leave it down for 24 hours, create a new listing, get the variations in, because every review you get will count across all variations. And it's just better for SEO, it's just better for everything. And then you get those nice little swatch boxes as well, you know, you get to choose. If you're in Australia, is it better to start with Amazon in Australia or US? Again, bigger question. I think Kate will follow up with that with Neil, and you know, there'll be some discussions on that. Do you ever use inventory placement services for the USA FBA? We haven't, have we? Have we ever used inventory placement services?
Well, if
what is
my fulfillment team?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, we have.
We've used a company out of Oregon as well.
Oh, thank you, Ahmed. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading awesomeness messages. With a unique email, is it an existing personal email or do I need to create one with a business name? Look, it's so much. If you can get your domain name and get an email info at like Blacklight, for example.
Can I just say, from tonight, never use Gmail, Big Pond, me, Hotmail, Yahoo. They all scream at everybody, newbie. Get rid of them. Just use your domain, get your domain, and use info at or your name at, and have a few sales at, and have it in the domain, and use that for setting up your Amazon business. Use it for your communication with your suppliers. All of it, it just puts you in a completely different league professionally, and it's important.
Yeah. Someone has said the sound quality's varied. Sorry about that. We've got a microphone here and everything, so I hope you've been able to hear it all.
Yeah. We are regional.
Are coupons arranged through? We've got NBN.
Yeah.
Are coupons arranged through Seller Central? Yes, they are. Look, we're not going to go into it now, but just to show you. If you go into advertising, coupons. So you set them all up there.
And what about PPC?
And PPC is under Campaign Manager. And if you want a code just to give 30% off to everyone, or to set people, or you know whatever amount you want, you go into promotions. Okay, I just signed up. Haven't received any login. Look, that's Send an email to support at Raw Local. They'll get back to you.
Yeah. Or hello at Raw Local.
Oh, hello at Raw Local. Yeah, so either or will get through. Should we need to have a separate email account for different Amazon accounts? Yes, you do.
So you need
sound was fine. Thanks, Mark.
You need a different email for Australia,
thanks,
and each marketplace needs a different email. So you can't go use your Australian email to set up in the American marketplace.
So you do need, So you end up, if you've got your own domain name, it's kind of handy because you'll end up with a few different emails.
And one thing about setting up in the US market, it gives you access without setting up a new marketplace to Canada and Mexico. So we are operating in both Amazon. Go to the last.
The last slide. Does it have anything there? Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Sorry.
So info at.
Oh, hang on. We can just go to the website.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is our website. That's got Kate and I on it. Sorry, the reason I'm showing this is someone asked. And there's pictures of us right down the
There's
bottom.
the 2 packages.
We'll wave at you. There we are. Hello. Okay. So you guys don't like your manufacturing, no? Correct.
Yep.
Look, we've got a few different manufacturers.
Yeah.
One of them, it was just so convenient and they were so helpful,
Yeah.
and they are doing all of the printing and they know everything and they're doing it and sending it straight through.
Yeah.
Really, you really have to, it's your judgment on your suppliers.
Yeah.
So we've got one case where we are, and we've got a number of cases where we're not.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you got to do it case by case. Can your customers see your email address? On an email note? No, they can't.
No, they can't.
Yeah. But you do have a shop front, and that has some details, and they can send you notes. And there's means of them being able to contact you. Pleasure. Thank you. That was very nice. Who said that? Thank you, Paul. That's a lovely comment. Is it possible to change the email address? No, that's really hard. It is possible, but it's quite tricky. But you can. Sometimes you can go in and edit it, and other times it's all tied in and you just can't. But let me just move this. If you go into settings and account info, and so all of the details are here, and your seller profile has the email addresses. You can edit them. You do run the risk of then having to go through the process again for verification. Tricky. You don't want to be doing it if you're making money, and then you don't make money while it's down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might finish up there.
I think that's it. Thank you, Susie. That was fantastic, and I hope that was useful. Susie and I will be at the conference over the weekend, so do introduce yourselves to us, and thank you for hanging in there. There's been a lot of people there tonight, so thank you for staying, and there's a lot of people still on the call, so really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hope you found that useful, and we will see you on the Facebook group.
And it is recorded. We just have to work out the logistics of how to get it out to
that's
people.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
That
cool.
will get sorted tomorrow.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
No. I don't actually know how to hang up. We didn't do this part. Hang on, sharing.